3 of our semester. In this module, we deal with learning and memory. We're covering 2 chapters out of the book, Chapter 6 on learning and Chapter 4 on memory. The focus out of Chapter 6 on learning is the 3 main ways in which we learn. Observational learning, classical conditioning, and operant conditioning. So observational learning is pretty much what you think it is. There is a short video clip I'd like you to watch demonstrating the classic Bobo doll experiments that demonstrate that people do learn through observation, especially children, especially when watching live adult models. But then really I think the main focus of this chapter that will require quite a bit of time and effort is understanding the principles of classical conditioning or Pavlovian conditioning, and then operant conditioning, usually associated with B.F. Skinner. So definitely spend some time. In the discussion, there's an opportunity to practice applying some principles of operant conditioning to your own life, maybe perhaps recommending how you can change your behavior using principles of operant conditioning, so it's very relevant. And then there's an opportunity in the homework assignment to practice principles of both classical and operant conditioning, so being able to identify an unconditioned stimulus and unconditioned response, conditioned stimulus and conditioned response out of the classical conditioning section. Definitely be familiar with terms like stimulus generalization and discrimination. Know about little Albert and what happened with little Albert. There's a video clip that you can watch to refresh your memory about little Albert from the reading. And yeah, so there's a couple of other videos too demonstrating Pavlovian conditioning, Pavlov's dogs, and some operant conditioning stuff too. So some of those are pretty funny. Rat basketball, showing sort of the power of operant conditioning. There's a funny clip from Big Bang Theory many people may have seen before, where Sheldon tries to operantly condition, quite successfully I might add, Penny. Anyway, so that's our learning section of this module, and then the memory section of this module, Chapter 4 in the book. There's a discussion based on memory. How might life be different if you didn't have short-term memory or long-term memory? And then in the homework assignment too, there's a section to practice some of the aspects of memory. So the key things, in my opinion, that you should be focusing on from the memory chapter are first, the 3 main ways, or 3 things that are required in order for us to remember something. So encoding, storage, and retrieval, understand those processes and how they go into forming memories for us. Then the 3 different types of memories that we have, focus on those, and the homework assignment is going to give you the opportunity to practice identifying those 3 different types of memories. They're called episodic, semantic, and procedural, so be able to identify examples of those different types of memories. Then our 3 memory storage systems. You're probably familiar with 2 of them, although you may, I've noticed over the years that many people are pretty confused about what short-term memory really is, but the 3 memory storage systems that we have are sensory memory, which goes in like, why did we cover sensation first? Well, we have to understand how our senses work in order to understand how we're able to gather information in there through sensory memory to allow us to store those things potentially long-term. So sensory memory, short-term memory, and long-term memory. And also pay special attention to why a lot of people today actually refer to short-term memory as working memory, and try to understand it, why that is, and how working memory is a little bit perhaps more accurate than short-term memory as a term. There are 2 practice tests or quizzes from this, one from Chapter 6 on learning, one from Chapter 4 on memory, and then the module test will contain questions from both of those chapters. So should be a fun module for us, and as always, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to email or call, and have a great week.